Good morning, everyone. Here we are again. It's day 3 of our Reclaim Your Strength and Mobility workshop. Hasn't this week gone so quick? I can't believe it's day 3 already. So it's great if you're going to join me again today live and do a little bit of a workout with me. That's fantastic. If you're watching the replay, I hope you enjoy it. Now, let me remind you what we're going to do today. We are focusing on our bone health. So we want to keep our bones nice and strong as we can. So to help us with that, we're going to focus on the upper body today. So upper body, arms, shoulders, all that sort of area. So to help us maintain our bone density, our bone strength, we're going to be using some weights. Now, I haven't got my hand weights with me. I have got my tins of beans, okay? Because I know not everybody has got hand weights lying around at home, okay? But there's always something you can find around the house, isn't there, as a good alternative. I usually suggest tins of beans. They're not very heavy though, okay? But if you're a beginner, just starting out with weights, then it's a good choice. There's small bottles of water you can get, something like that. That would be a good alternative. Fill it up first, of course, okay? And you can do that. Or if you've got anything else around the house that you can grab hold of, you will need that this morning. So if you want to join in and you want to do the weights as well, you've got a couple of minutes to grab some beans or something else out of your kitchen cupboards to include in your session this morning. If you just want to do the routine but you don't want the weights, that's fine. You can do all of the exercises without them. You don't need them. It's just a little bit of extra we can add in. Adds a bit of variety to the routine, and it just gives us a little bit of resistance, extra resistance to work against. So we've really got the muscles working a little bit harder, and that helps to support our bone health. So that's what we're doing this morning. So grab something if you can do those weights with me. If you do have hand weights, fantastic, but just make sure they're nice and light. You don't want a heavy weight. The Pilates isn't about trying to lift heavy weights. We only work with light weights. So I usually have half a kilo or a kilo, absolute max is what I use. So somewhere around there. Anything else, it starts just to get a little bit too heavy, and it just affects our setup. We can't maintain that nice neutral position if the weights are too heavy. Okay, so you've got hand weights, that's great, you can use them, but just keep them nice and light. Okay, so before we get started, I need to remind you about the competition. There's still not many of you who have entered, so I'm just going to remind you one more time. Scroll down the page until you find the post with the fireworks. I put it on again yesterday. So there's a picture of fireworks. That's the one you're looking for. In that post is details of how to enter the competition. I realised yesterday I told you about it and I forgot to tell you what you were entering. So the competition is to win my core activation video series. So it's a course of 7 videos, and it takes you through different workouts that just focus on those tummy muscles, those core abdominal muscles that we talked about yesterday. Okay, some of them are easy, so there's some quite challenging ones in there as well. Okay, so I think it's my most popular video series that I've done. So it's a good one to win. So if you want to try and get your hands on that, follow the instructions in that firework post. You need to click on the link that's in there because it's taking place on my business page, not in the group, but the link is there. You just need to click on it, read the instructions, and then you can enter from there. You've got to find the correct post on my business page, which is Share the Strength of Pilates. There's a picture of me doing Pilates on it. Find that post, like it, pop a comment on, okay? Because without the comment, I don't know who wants to enter, because as soon as you put your comment on there, your name pops up, doesn't it? So pop a comment on. It can just be hello, or I'm taking part, or whatever you want it to be. It doesn't really matter, as long as I know that you want to enter. And the third one, to make sure your name goes in the hat, you've got to share the post. So click on the share button at the bottom of the post there, and then share it with all your Facebook friends and family. Okay, so that's the competition. What else do I need to tell you? At the end of today's session, so hopefully you're going to stick around until the end. At the end of today's session, I'm going to tell you all about my online Pilates membership. I only open the doors to this every month or so. I'm going to open it. It's open now. It's open today, okay? And I've got a very special early bird offer where you can try my membership out for free for a limited time. The offer is a limited time offer, so I'll tell you about that at the end. I'll tell you more about the membership at the end. So if you're interested in that and you want to do a little bit more Pilates, you've enjoyed it this week, you want to carry on, you're just curious about what that membership is about, then just stay to the end and I'll tell you more about it. But we need to crack on, don't we? It's day 3. I'm sure you're raring to go. Now, I've had a bit of trouble with these comments all week, haven't I? I just can't see your comments as they pop up. It's been lovely to read them. I've been reading them all afterwards, but I can't see them at the time for some reason. I don't know why. Now, I can see that there's a few of you already on. You're watching. Fantastic. So just drop in a quick hello. Say hello to me so I know who's been watching me this morning. Okay then. Right. We're going to make a start then. Okay. I'll have another look at that later. Or we're going to start in standing. So we're going to come up to standing. Okay, so I've got my weights. Okay, hopefully you've got yours by now. Okay, now if you remember, we did a roll down. I think that was on Tuesday, where I showed you to roll down elegantly to the floor and come back up again. We're going to use that roll down in a little while, okay, to pick our weights up. So for the moment, just stand on your mat and just have the weights just in front of you, so that when you bend down, you can just easily pick them up in a second. Okay. So we're going to recap that setup in standing that I took you through on Tuesday morning. So we're going to start with the feet together. We're going to fan the heels. We're going to fan the toes. The knees are soft. And then we're going to feel like we're being lengthened up through the spine. Imagine you've got a thread coming out the top of your head that's lengthening you up to the ceiling. So you're standing up as tall as you possibly can now. Shoulders are nice and relaxed. Collarbones nice and wide, keeping the chest nice and open. We'll practice our breathing, shall we? So we're just going to bring our hands onto the bottom of the ribs. We're going to take a nice deep breath in through the nose and then out through the mouth. And again, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. So as you take that deep breath in, feel those ribs expanding under your hands. And then as you breathe out, feel them closing back down again. Wonderful. Place one hand on your tummy, one in your lower back. Keep the knees a little soft. And then we're going to tilt the pelvis. We did this, didn't we, the other day? Okay, arching and flattening the back. Just helping to mobilize that lower spine a little bit, just helping to loosen it up. But from here, we're going to come into our neutral position. So if you remember, your neutral position is when you finish with just a slight curve in the lower back. So you're not too arched, you're not too flat, just somewhere in the middle, just a little curve. That's what we're looking for. Place your hands on your tummy. Let's put that belt on. We've got that imaginary belt going around the hips. We're going to put it onto the 10th notch. You're going to feel the abdominals working while your hands are there. So we're going to take a breath in. And then as you breathe out, I want you to imagine that belt is tightening. Pull it really tight onto the 10th notch, onto that last notch. And as you do that, really draw in those abdominal muscles as much as you possibly can. Feel them working underneath your hands now. Now, if you relax and release and take that belt off now, just feel those abdominals relax. Wonderful. We'll put it onto the 5th notch, shall we? Another breath in. And as you breathe out, draw in the abdominals again, tighten the belt, but only onto the 5th notch this time. And then relax and release. Feel the abdominals relaxing again under the hands. We'll do it once more onto the 3rd notch this time. So we'll take a breath in. And as you breathe out, the belt tightens onto the 3rd notch. So we're just drawing in those abdominals a little bit. Not too much. If we have it on too tight, the muscles just fatigue. You won't be able to keep it on. So we've just got the belt on the 3rd notch. But that is enough to keep us in that neutral position. So that's what we want. We want to try and fix ourselves into that neutral position so we have that nice posture. We're standing up nice and tall. Wonderful. Big arms. It's a bit of a warm up first, shall we do? So we take a breath in, send the arms all the way up to the ceiling, and then float them all the way down. And we do it again. We breathe in, arms go up, and breathe out as they come back down. And again, breathing in, and breathing out. Shoulders nice and relaxed all the way down. Let's go into a little knee bend this time. So we'll bend the knees, we'll float the arms forward, and then we'll stand up tall. We'll do it again. So we send the arms up to the ceiling, float them all the way down, go into a knee bend, and float the arms forward. Stand up tall. Here we go again. Arms go up, and float them down, down into a knee bend, and stand up tall. And again, last one. Warming up the shoulders, ready to use those weights in a minute. Fabulous. We're going to do some foot pedals. So we're going to lift one heel up off the mat. And as we lift the heel, we're going to send the opposite arm to the ceiling. And then we're going to bring that arm down, lower the heel, pick the other heel up, and the opposite arm goes up. Okay, so we're working opposite arm to leg. Okay, lift one heel, opposite arm goes up. So as you're doing this, think about standing up nice and tall, nice tall posture, looking straight ahead. Now I bet we can go a little bit quicker, can't we? So as we lower one heel, we'll lift the other heel up. Then we'll switch, and we'll switch, and we'll switch. We'll keep the shoulders down really well. We'll keep that belt on. We're going to focus on a point in front, because that's going to help with our balance. Wonderful. Okay, let's bring those arms down and rest there. Do you remember the roll down from the other day? We're going to have a little go at that now, okay? So actually what I'll do is I'll turn to the side, I think, because then it's easier for you to see, isn't it? So we've still got that nice posture. You've got your weights just in front of you on the floor so you can roll down and reach them if you're using them. Okay, you start by standing up nice and tall. The knees are a little soft. We take a breath and nod the head. And then as you breathe out, we start rolling down. Now as you go down, you can bend the knees a little bit more if you want to, so that you can reach your weights. Now, we're going to breathe out, roll all the way back up. Standing up nice and tall, let's take a breath in and send the arms up to the ceiling. Breathe out, breathe down. Here we go, we're going to roll down again. So breath in, nod the head. Breathing out, rolling down. Keep hold of those weights as you go down. Keep the knees a little soft, go as far as you can, then hold it for a breath in at the bottom. Now keep that belt on really well now as you roll all the way back up to standing. Let's do it one more time. Breath in, arms go up. Breathing out, the arms come down. Breath in, nod the head. Breathing out, rolling down. Knees are nice and soft. Roll down, breath in at the bottom. And then breathing out. We come all the way back up again. Okay, I'll turn back to the front. So this time we're going to stand with the feet a little bit wider than we usually do. So I just want to walk the feet out a little bit more. So they are about shoulder width, somewhere there. Now, hopefully you can see my feet. I think you can. They're turned out. Okay, so I haven't got my toes pointing straight ahead. I've got them turned out slightly because we're going to go into a knee bend. And you can see as I bend my knees, they go over my toes. That's where I want them to go, rather than coming in like that. Okay, so the knees go over the toes. We're going to start with a little knee bend, and we're going to float the arms up in front. So I've got hold of my weights now. I'm going to bend my knees and take my arms up. Hold the legs there as you take the arms out to the side. Straighten the legs and lower the arms. So we float the arms, take them out and lower. So we float, take them out and lower. Float, take them out and lower. Now on this one, I want you to think about those shoulders. Okay, so keep your shoulders as relaxed as you can. Okay, and make sure those knees are going over the toes. Keep the belt on, because then you're nice and stable through the center. Should we change direction? Can we do it the other way? Out to the side, bring them round, then lower. Out to the side, bring them round, then lower. And again, out to the side, bring them round. Let's just do one more. Out to the side, bring them round and lower. Wonderful. Okay, this time we're going to bend the elbows. We're going to tuck the elbows into the waist. Okay, and we're going to have the hands out to the side. So the palms are facing up for this one. We're going to do those knee bends again. And every time we go down to the knees this time, we bring the weights together. And then we stand tall and they move apart. So we go down and stand tall. Go down and stand tall. Now on this one, you can add in a little squeeze. So as you move the hands away, think about giving your shoulder blades a little squeeze together. Give them a squeeze and release. And again, give them a squeeze and release. We don't often work those muscles in between the shoulder blades, but it's a really good idea to work them a little bit because those are our postural muscles. They help us to stand up nice and tall. So give them a little squeeze, give them a little workout. Okay, should we change the arms? So we'll take them up and bring them back down. We'll do that again. We'll take them up and bring them back down. So we make a point with the fingers, put a roof on our house. Okay, put the roof on and come down. Now we could alternate the arms, couldn't we? Let's go back to the first one. So we bring them round, take them out, put the roof on and down. Bring them in, take them out, put the roof on, bring them down. So this is a nice little combination of exercises. It's working the muscles around the shoulder joint, strengthening the muscles to support that shoulder joint. And of course, you've got the extra bit of resistance if you're using the weights. So it makes it a little bit harder for the muscles. They're working a bit harder, and that will help to support and maintain your bone health. Last one. Wonderful. Okay. Should we bring the feet in? Let's walk the feet in, shall we? Okay, so the feet are hip width again. We'll carry on with the arms, shall we? So just keep the knees a little soft. Different arm position this time. I'm going to bring them up in front. So if I stand to the side, you can see the position I've got my arms in. So I want my elbows roughly shoulder height. We don't want to let them sink on this one. Okay, so we're going to start here, and all we're going to do is take the arms out to the side. Okay, keeping the elbows lifted, keeping them nice and high. Okay, now this little sequence is really good at toning those muscles in the arms, okay? I did this, I think it was last week, with a group, and the next day, I couldn't believe how much I could feel those muscles, how much they've been working the day before, okay? So it's a simple little group of exercises now, but they're really effective. Okay, so we take them out, and yeah, we can add a little curl, can't we? So we can straighten the arm, curl the arm, bring them back in. So we take them out, straighten, curl, bring them in. Take them out, straighten. Now, you notice I'm trying to keep my shoulders down as well as I can. So I don't want the shoulders to creep up to the ears. Got to keep them down really well. I've still got my belt on. I'm still trying to stand up nice and tall. Wonderful. Here's the last one. Should we lower the arms for a second? It's always good to just roll the shoulders around sometimes. Okay. Let's bring them up again. So this time, let's straighten the arms out in front first. Take them round to the side. Then do the curl and bring them back round. So we straighten, take them out, do the curl and return. Straighten, take them out, do the curl and return. Wonderful. Now the trick is, can you do it in reverse? So here we go. We'll take them out, straighten the arms, bring them round and bend. Take them out, straighten the arms, bring them round and bend. Now, can you start to feel it working in those shoulders now? I can. Even though I've only got a really light weight, I can feel those shoulders starting to work a little bit. Shall we leave it there? Just bring them down. Let's give those shoulders a nice little roll around. Wonderful. We would come down to the floor, hadn't we? So we're going to do that roll down again. So we'll roll down, and if you come down, just pop your weights down when you can so that you can get your hands on the mat and just come into a sitting position. So we'll take the arms up again, shall we? So we'll breathe in and take the arms up. And breathe out and bring them down. Breathe in, nod the head. Breathe out, start rolling down. So we're going to soften into the knees a little bit more. And when you can, just pop those weights down on the mat. Bring your hands down on the mat. And then just walk yourself forwards. Okay, I've just remembered, I forgot at the beginning to tell you what we're going to be doing on the mat. We're going to be doing some work lying on our back. We're going to do that first. So I've got my towel ready just to support my head. If you remember yesterday, we did a bit of side lying work, didn't we? And I said well, something like this, if this is my yoga block, or extra towels or a cushion works really well actually, because we're going to come into side lying shortly. Okay, so after we've done this next set of exercises, we're coming into side lying position, so you'll need a little bit of extra support under your head. Okay, so what we're going to do then, I'm going to go over some of the exercises that we did yesterday, mainly because if you followed along yesterday, they'll be familiar to you, so we can get straight into them. I haven't got to explain them too much because we've already done them once. The difference is we've got the weights this time. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to set up on the mat. I'm going to do that recap on the mat like I showed you yesterday, so we'll go through that first and before we start our exercises on the mat. Okay, so we start with the feet and knees hip width apart, arms down by the side. Now, what you need to do is you need to find that neutral position again, because we don't want to put our belt on if we're lying on the mat there with a big arch, because it's going to fix us in the wrong position. It'll put too much stress on the lower back. So we don't want to work from that position. So we need to find neutral. So we're just going to tilt the pelvis backwards and forwards like we did in standing at the beginning. So you can see I'm just arching my back and then I'm flattening it into the mat as much as I can. Now this should be a nice steady movement. You don't want to force it. Just work within your own range of movement. Okay, and then you want to come to that point now where you finish with just a slight curve. So if you want to get your hand and try and slip it under your waist, it would just be tops of the fingers that would go under. If the whole hand goes through, you know you're too arched. You just need to flatten a little bit more. Now, as long as you can maintain that neutral position, you know that those abdominal muscles are working. They've got to, okay? Because if they didn't, you'd probably end up arching your back again. Okay, so just by being in that position, we'll get those abdominal muscles working. But if you want to check and see if you can switch those abdominals on, like we did yesterday, take two fingers, put them on the hip bones, walk your fingers in towards them just a couple of inches, and then walk your fingers down a couple of inches, and then just press lightly into those abdominal muscles. So if we put our belt onto the third notch now, then hopefully you should feel the muscles becoming a little bit firmer in the fingers. They should feel soft now. So just keep that little bit of pressure on. Take a breath in. And then as you breathe out, imagine the belt is tightening. Draw in the abdominals a little bit. Feel them firming up a little bit underneath the fingers. Just a little bit, not too much. Okay? And then what you've got to do is you've got to keep that belt on now. So don't let those muscles go. Keep them switched on. Okay, right, so I've got my weights ready. Now, the first exercise we're going to do are asses, the legs. Simple ones. We're just going to float the legs up. Okay, we've got the weights. We're going to add those in as well. Okay, so we're going to take the arms up to the ceiling. Now, I've got my hands sitting directly over the shoulders. So what we're going to do now is we're going to work opposite arm to leg. So as you float one knee up, the opposite arm will go overhead. And then as you lower the foot back down, the arm comes back up. Then we do on the other side. So we float the knee, opposite arm goes overhead, and then we bring it back to our starting position. Okay, now if you remember yesterday, I was talking about the feet on this one. I said keep those feet nice and light because that will work those abdominal muscles a little bit more. Okay, so you can do that if you want to. Now, weights. Because we've got the weights, be aware how far you take the arm back. You need to make sure that you can bring the arm back to its starting position easily. Okay, if it's a struggle to get the arm back up, your weight is probably too heavy. Okay, so that's only really applies if you're using hand weights. Beams, they're okay, they're nice and light. Okay, so if the arm won't go all the way back, that's fine. You don't need to touch the floor. Just take it back as far as you can. Just work within your own range of movement. We'll do those arms again. Different legs, we're going to bring them up into double tabletop. We did this one yesterday. So remember on this one, it's important that you keep that belt on really well. You stay in that neutral position, then you float the legs up one at a time. We're going to do a little toe tap. Same arm, opposite arm to leg. So here we go. We'll take a breath in, and then as you breathe out, you'll tap one toe, send the opposite arm overhead, and then come back to center. Then we switch, tap one toe, opposite arm goes overhead, come back to center. And again, so we tap and reach, and center, tap and reach. So the most important thing on this one is keeping those abdominals pulled in, keeping that belt on, staying in that neutral position. If you start to get tired, you can bring the knees in a little bit closer, can't you, on this one? Bring the knees in. Oh, I think I may have just lost you for a second. I think we're back. I think we are. Okay. I'm going to keep going. Hopefully everyone is still watching and you can see me. Okay. So if you're getting a little bit tired, just bring the knees into... Oh, I've changed my legs, haven't I? I've got distracted. Look, I'm doing the wrong legs. I could see my screen went black there. I thought, oh no, I've lost everybody. This is what we were doing, wasn't it? Where was I? You can have a break if you want to. We've done a lot of these now, haven't we? Okay, I was just saying, if you're getting tired, just bring the knees in a little bit closer to the chest because that makes it a little bit easier. We better leave it there, hadn't we? Let's bring the weights down. Let's just hug the knees into the chest. Wonderful. I think we're still on. Fabulous. Okay. Right, next one, you just had a sneak peek because I went into the next one. I got distracted, I was doing the wrong legs. I'll show you the arms though. We're going to change the arms this time. We'll start with the arms to the ceiling, and then what you're going to do is you're going to bring the elbows down to the side. So they're nice and wide, they're out to the side, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a little arm press. So we're going to send the arms up to the ceiling. We're going to just press them up and then bring them back down. So this is working the muscles in the chest, it's working and strengthening the muscles around the shoulder joint. So we're strengthening everything around that area so the joint is nice and supported. And again, we've got that extra bit of resistance to help maintain our bone health. The legs will come back up into double tabletop, keeping the belt on, staying in neutral. So this time, as we press the arms up, we're going to straighten out the leg to about 45 degrees and then bring everything back to its starting position. Straighten out the leg and then bring everything back in. Now make sure you don't take the leg too close to the floor. If you take it all the way down there, it puts an awful lot of pressure on the lower back. So I keep it up a little bit higher. I normally suggest 45 degrees, somewhere there, out diagonally. That's it. So we straighten and press. So nice straight legs as they go out. Squeeze the front of the thigh. Again, if you're getting tired through the abdominals, bring the knees in a little bit closer. That will make it easier. Wonderful. Should we do two more? Here we go. Bring out, press, and return. That's one. Bring out, press, and return. Can we keep the legs there? Can you keep them there? Just bring them together so you've got knees and ankles touching. Take the arms up to the ceiling. Now bring the arms down. My palms are facing up to the ceiling. Still got those weights. I'm going to pulse the hands up to the ceiling. So we do a pulse, 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 nice and steady. Not doing anything with the legs. We're just doing the arms. Now while we're doing this, just breathe normally. Focus on keeping the belt on. Keeping the abdominals pulled in and maintaining that neutral position. Again, if you start to get tired, you can bring the knees in a little bit closer. Makes it a bit easier, okay? So we'll do a few more pulses, shall we? Here we go. We'll do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We can lower the weights down. We can bring the knees in. Give them a nice hug into the chest. Nice little release after you've been working those abdominals. We'll have a full body release. I always have to do one of these as well. So we'll straighten out the legs, straighten out the arms. Have a nice big stretch through the length of the body. Wonderful. Bring the arms down, bring the legs in, roll onto your side, push yourself up. So we'll change position then this time. You need your weights again, but you only need the one this time. So we're coming as a sideline, so you'll need a little bit of extra support underneath your head. So a cushion, extra towels, or a yoga block if you've got one like me. We're going to sit up in our side lying position like we did the other day. Okay, so we're going to come down, head is nicely supported. I've got the knees bent, the feet are in line with the spine, the arms are out in front. Now, if you remember yesterday, I was talking about visualizing your spine, wasn't I? So if we relax on the mat, it's almost like the waist sinks into the mat, so your spine would have a little kink in it. So we want to straighten it out. So if you put your hand on your top hip, breathe out, and push that top hip away, it just lifts your waist a little out of the mat. And then you can visualize that nice straight spine. And that's what we're looking for, that nice straight spine. And I guarantee, as you do that and you do that lift, you feel like you're putting that belt on as well. I automatically draw in my abdominals without thinking about it too much. I've got to now to stay in that nice position. Grab your, you're going to hold the weight in your top hand. We're just going to bring the arms together for a second. Now, we did the clamp the other day. That was yesterday, wasn't it? Okay. So I'll just remind you, this is the clamp. We keep the feet together and we open out the knee. Now, we're going to take the elbow now, and we're going to bring it into the waist. Okay, we're going to keep the elbow tucked into the waist. We're holding onto our weight. I'm just going to hold my weight here so it's sort of level with my shoulder. And we're going to work opposite arm to leg. So we'll start with the leg. We'll do our clamp first. And then as we close the knee back down, we're going to send the hand to the ceiling. But you can see I've still got my elbow tucked in at the waist. Lower the hand and the knee opens. Lower the knee and the hand opens. So as one opens, the other one closes. Okay. So again, working nicely through the shoulders. So we had quite a good workout for the shoulders actually, working those rotator cuff muscles and the muscles in the upper back, which we tend to miss sometimes. It's quite easy to miss those areas. Okay, but you'll get nice toned muscles, nice strength through the shoulders to keep the shoulder nice and mobile, keep it moving. Wonderful. Here we go. Last open with the arm. Bring the arms out in front for a second. Okay. I'm just going to pop that weight down there. We're going to push ourselves up onto the elbow. We did this one as well, didn't we, the other day? Okay, just 2 levels today. We'll do an easy one and a more challenging one. We'll set ourselves up though in a good position. So make sure that your elbow is underneath your shoulder. Knees are still in front of the body, feet in line with the spine. Want to visualize that spine again. Okay, so mine is just sinking a little bit at the minute, so I'm going to get that free hand. I'm just going to lift the ribs up. Feel like I'm straightening that spine. Visualize it nice and straight. Keep the belt on. Take your weight. Arm out to the side. Now all you're going to do is maintain that nice lift. You're not going to sink. Okay, stay nice and lifted. Breathe in. Take the weight over. And breathe out and bring it back. And again, breathe in, take the weight over, and breathe out and bring it back. So I'm looking at the weight as I take it over. Okay, I'm keeping both shoulders down really well. I've got that belt on, so I'm nicely supported through the center. So not only am I strengthening the arm that's got the weight, actually I think my arm that's supporting me is probably working harder, because I've got to keep that shoulder down. Okay, so it's got to work quite hard to keep me in that position. And of course the abdominals and all the muscles around the center of the body are working so I can stay nicely lifted. Okay, last one. Wonderful. Should we do it with the lift? We did this one, didn't we? We're going to lift the hips with the weight, send the arm over the top. So here we go. We're going to take a breath in. And as you breathe out, we're going to lift the hips, send the arm up and over the top, and then bring it back down. And again, breathe out, lift and reach, and then bring it back down. 2 more. Here we go. Breathe out, lift and reach. Here's the last one. Fabulous. Okay, let's push ourselves back up to sitting. We're going to switch sides. We need to do it on the other side, don't we? So we're going to do the same setup again. So we've got our arms out in front. The knees are bent, the feet are in line with the spine. Okay, I'm going to take my weight, I'm going to hold on to it. Okay, I'm going to make sure I've got my spine in a nice straight line. I'm just going to push that top hip away. And then I'm going to bring my elbow into the waist again. Weight starts at shoulder height. We're going back into our clamp, so we'll start with the legs first. So we'll open out the knee, and as the knee closes, we send the arm up. And then we open out the knee and send the arm up. So now you're doing this on the other side. You might find that it's easier on one side than the other. I think my other side is a little bit easier. I'm just a bit stronger on that side, probably because I'm just right-handed. Okay, so on my left side, my arm and my hip don't want to open quite as much on this side. They're not quite as strong. Okay, so it's a good way sometimes doing side lying exercises, because then it helps you to spot those areas that perhaps aren't quite as strong as your other side, and then you know that's an area that you could work on to make a little bit stronger. Okay, shall we make this last one? There we go. Okay, pop that weight down. We're going to push ourselves back up again, back up onto the elbow. So make sure you've got elbow under shoulder, knees are forward of the body again, feet in line with the spine. Lift the ribs away from the mat. Make sure that belt is on. Shoulders are down, arms out to the side. No lift, just the arm. So we'll breathe in and we'll send the arm over and breathe out and bring it back. Let's look at that weight again. So we'll look at it as it goes over the top and as it comes back. And again, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and out. Here we go. Last one. Fabulous. Okay, here we go straight into our lift. So here we go. We'll just do 4 of them. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, we'll lift the hips. We'll send the arm up and over, and then come all the way back down. And again, breathe out, lift and reach, and then come all the way back down. And again, lift and reach. Fabulous. Here's the last one. Lift and reach. And then lower. Wonderful. Pop that weight to one side. Push yourself up. Let's roll those shoulders round a little bit, shall we? Wonderful. I think that's it. I haven't missed anything. I've done everything. Wonderful. I'm going to come a little bit closer. Okay, I think I'll come off my mat a minute. Okay, wonderful. So, hasn't that gone quick? Those 3 days. Oh, I'm still overrun a little bit. I always try and fix it to about half an hour, but I always tend up doing a little bit more. So I forgot my pad, but I can see on here, can't I? We've got, oh, can I see on here now? Let me just have a look. Who is watching? Let me just have a look. Can I see the comments? No, but I can see that Julie is watching, and Colleen and Kathy. So good morning, ladies. There's some more people on, sorry, but I can't see your names. I'm reluctant to press anything too much in case we go off. So I'm just going to say hello to you and hello to everybody else who is still watching me. I know there's still quite a few on. Right, okay, so that is the end of our 3-day workshop. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I have. I really enjoyed taking you through these exercises. And I hope you've enjoyed joining in with me if you've been doing it live or whether you've just watched the replay in your own time. I hope you've gotten something out of it. I hope really that if you're watching it and you're fairly new to Pilates, that it's sort of made you realise that Pilates is quite, it's nice and gentle, the exercises are nice and straightforward, but actually it's everything else that we have to put into it. It's finding that neutral position, making sure that we're engaging through the centre, the breathing, which we haven't really touched much on, and there's lots of other different principles that we have to include in our exercises that make it more challenging. If you just watch the exercise on its own, it seems quite easy, and it is. If you did that exercise on its own, it would be easy, but it's when you add in all those extra elements that makes it a little bit more challenging. If you're watching it and you've got more experience of Pilates, I haven't sort of pushed you too far today because it's always difficult to know who's at what level. But I've put some more challenging ones in there for you, and of course there's always the option to take them further as well. So I hope it's been a good mix of exercises to suit most people who have been joining in and watching me this week. I hope, if anything else, it has inspired you to decide that it's time that you need to do some exercise at home, okay, especially at the moment, okay, all the classes are shut, we can't get to our usual class, but if you want some guidance, some tips, and just to keep you motivated and some ideas of different routines and exercises that you can do, then you can stay in this group, and I'm here every week. I put little routines in here. I do live sessions every week. But if you want a bit more than that, if you want to join me for one-to-one live, not one-to-one, group live sessions, I should say, I do those weekly. And I've also got a whole library of videos online waiting for you to access if you want to. Now, my online membership opens today, and that's where you will find everything. So you can join me for live sessions every week. I do a couple of those every week. If you can't make it, that's okay, because I realise it's not for everyone. Not everybody likes those sort of sessions, or they might be at the wrong time for you. I always put the replay in there so you can catch up later in the day if you want to. There is a whole library of, I think we're about 140 videos now, workouts, tutorials, challenges. There is something new in the membership every week. I like to add something in fresh for you every week because I know people like to try new things. So there's something in there new every week for you. So that's if you want to keep yourself motivated. Now that you've done these 3 days and you just want to keep going, then take a look at it. Okay, it doesn't matter what level you're at. If you're a beginner or you're more advanced, I've got different levels for everyone. It's a nice progressive membership. So if you're a beginner, you can start in the beginners section, work all the way through the beginners, go up to improvers, and I've just opened up my intermediate section this month. Okay, so that's new for this year. So there's a more challenging exercise, more challenging than we've done today. So there's something for everybody, regardless of where you are. Now, I don't normally do a special offer on my membership, but I thought I would. This year, it's January, just to try and encourage everybody, as many people as possible, to really feel the benefits of Pilates. Because I think I mentioned it yesterday, Pilates isn't like a quick fix. It's something that you need to be consistent with, and you need to do regularly, even if it's only 5 or 10 minutes. It's better to do 5 or 10 minutes 2 or 3 times a week than do an hour once a fortnight. Okay, if you can stay consistent and just do little short workouts, which there are in the membership. There's workouts of different lengths. There are shorter ones and longer ones depending on how much time you have. You will find that you'll feel the benefits of doing short sessions more often. Okay, so I really want you to carry on with what you've been doing this week and really feel those benefits. And the only way you can do that is if you have something to follow, okay, and you can carry on doing it. So for the next 2 weeks, or when you sign up, okay, if you want to have a look at it, you can have 2 weeks, 14 days, free access to my membership. So everything in there is available to you. So you get all the Zoom sessions included. You get all the workouts, all the on-demand videos, the challenges, everything is in there for you to access for 14 days. So it gives you a good chunk of time to try it out and see how you get on. And hopefully, in a couple of weeks down the line, by that time, if you're doing it 2 or 3 times a week, I would hope and expect you really to start feeling the benefits of Pilates. You might not be feeling quite as strong as we've been focusing on in this week's workshop. We've been really focusing on strength, haven't we? That takes a little bit longer. But certainly mobility and maybe a little bit more flexibility and just generally being able to move easier. So when you get up in the morning, if you normally get up and you feel a little bit stiff in your lower back, maybe in a couple of weeks, that's starting to feel a little bit easier. Most of the people who come to my classes who are new and they're starting Pilates for the first time, or they're just new to exercise, have done exercise for a bit, they normally do 4 to 6 sessions with me. Bearing in mind they only do 1 session a week, okay? And it's just in that small amount of time they tell me that they're starting to feel a difference. They get up in the morning, they don't feel as stiff, they're having trouble with their shoulders, that's feeling easier. So it takes a little bit of time. It can take a few weeks, but really, it's not that long. They're doing 4 to 6 sessions and they're starting to feel better. Okay, so if you're doing 2 or 3 shorter sessions every week for a couple of weeks, I would expect you to get a similar sort of result. Okay, but you've got to stay consistent with it. Okay, so I want you to feel those benefits of Pilates and feel your body feeling easier to move so that you can go out and you can do all of those things. You can do your gardening, you can walk easier, walk up those hills, take the dog out, and it makes it feel a lot easier. You're going to feel stronger over time. It's just about keeping consistent. So the membership is open. In the next few minutes, when I come off this live, I will post details in the group of where you can go and you can have a little read about it. Okay, as I say, it's completely free for 14 days. Okay, if there's no obligation to carry on, if you try it out and you enjoy it, fantastic. You want to stay on, wonderful. But if you decide after 14 days it's not really for you, just cancel before the 14 days finishes, and then you won't be charged a penny. Okay, you can try it out for free and then leave. Okay, so there's no obligation to stay on. But I hope you at least try it and just try out those 14 days. That's what I want to encourage you to try and do and really get those benefits of Pilates. So I will put the link in a post in the next 5 minutes or so. Okay, so click on the link. It gives you loads of details. It tells you what's in there, and then just you can take it from there. You can read it through, can't you, yourself, and decide what you want to do. So I hope you have a look at that.